Microsoft was on the top of its game for this year's E3 2018, featuring 50 games, 18 exclusives, and 15 world premieres at its conference, along with the announcement of Microsoft's acquisition of 5 awesome studios. For those of you who are loyal Xbox gamers, there's a whole lot of promising titles heading your way in the near future. So in case you missed the conference, here's the lowdown on every single Microsoft exclusive announced at E3 2018. The first exclusive trailer to debut at the conference after the reveal of Halo Infinite was indie darling Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Set to be released in 2019, everyone knew that this game was coming, but we hadn't seen much of it up until now. It's the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, a Metroidvania-style platform adventure game that came out in 2015. Aside from some stunning visuals, we don't know a whole lot about what the game will entail yet, but it does look incredibly promising. Also, side note, we did a video on Halo Infinite and everything that you need to know about the game that's been revealed, so make sure you guys head on over to our channel after this video and check that out if you're interested. Next up in the list of exclusives was CRACKDOWN 3, a fast-paced multiplayer futuristic shooter game that many have eagerly been awaiting, especially concerning more details. With its release pushed back yet again to February 2019, we did get to see a new trailer of the game at the conference, and it featured a whole lot of Terry Crews going around and blowing stuff up. But for those of you interested in the single-player aspect of the game, the story follows a super soldier who has to dismantle various cartels and crime syndicates, and the environment is completely destructible, which will sure make for a lot of fun. Up next is Sea of Thieves. For those of you loving the pirate open world game, Microsoft released a trailer setting up 2 new DLCs set to come out in July and September, Cursed Sails being the first and Forsaken Shores the second. Microsoft is surely hoping that the DLCs will help boost the game once more. In April, it plummeted in the best-selling charts, and Rare currently has 4 different teams working to create new content for the game. All that aside, the trailer did give us some solid chuckles, so hey, could be promising. Up next is Forza Horizon 4. Horizon 4 was one of the big announcements at the conference this year, with a stunning trailer and gameplay demonstration, which was pretty darn mind-blowing. The racing game stepped it up a notch by being a completely new take on the series and the genre in general. Presented by Playground's Ralph Fulton, Horizon 4 is a shared open world with dynamic seasons. This means that when you play with the entire community. You can even interact with players that you meet in the game with a new quick chat feature, making it easier to make friends. The game is set in Britain, which changes as the seasons do. As we saw in the demo, lakes that you see in the summer will freeze over in the wintertime. But this isn't just an aesthetic change, the weather affects how you race too. The game will be released on October 2nd with Game Pass available on the same day. So what about a game for all you Battle Royale fans? Well, Microsoft screened a PUBG exclusive, which included the announcement of the new War Mode, which is set to be released this winter 2018. Next up is Session. For those of you who are bummed that the EA conference didn't announce a new Skate 4 game, fear not, Xbox has you covered. Many are speculating that Session may be somewhat of a spiritual successor, and as the trailer shows, it's at least going to be a promising title that'll fill the void left by EA's now ancient series. Now if sports aren't your thing, Xbox announced an exclusive MMORPG titled Black Desert that appears to be chock full of fantastical lore, grim mysteries, and a whole lot of magic. Not much information has been released about it, but we do know that it was originally an online open-world sandbox fantasy game that was released in 2016, but that version of it had little to no endgame to speak of. Now that it's come to Xbox One, we can expect that that has changed, especially considering the narrative the trailer boasted. The beta for the game begins in full in 2018, and you can register for it now. Plus, if you're playing it on the Xbox One X, you'll be able to get the added bonus of 4K support. Next up, we've got a fan favorite, the Cuphead DLC, The Delicious Last Course. Cuphead was one of the major Xbox hits in recent history. Its old-fashioned cartoony style was so endearing that players flocked to the game, despite its notoriously difficult levels. For those of you craving more Cuphead, the conference announced a DLC set to be released sometime in 2019 that also introduces a new playable character in the form of Miss Chalice. The DLC will also feature more bosses, new weapons, and a brand new aisle. Speaking of awesome indie game, next up we have TUNIC. TUNIC is an indie game that feels a whole lot like a Fox version of The Legend of Zelda. If that doesn't sell you, perhaps the story behind it will. It's the brainchild of a single developer from Halifax, Nova Scotia named Andrew Schuldice, who the head of Xbox Bill Spencer had a whole lot of kind words for. Now if the game looks familiar to you, it's probably because you remember that it was announced back in 2015, but under the title Secret Legend. And last but not least, we have Battletoads. A Battletoads sequel was announced at the conference, but didn't offer much in terms of a trailer or gameplay. Rather, it was a trailer with voiceover narration, stylized in speech bubbles, declaring that the Battletoads were needed again, and ended off with a small little animation in the logo, plus some nifty information. It'll be a brand new game featuring body-morphing genre mashups, 3-player couch co-op, and 4K hand-drawn 2.5D graphics. Alright, there we have it guys, which of these exclusives are you looking forward to the most? And what other games at Microsoft's conference this year were you super jazzed about? Let us know all of your thoughts and feels in those comments below. And if you haven't already, you can check out our highlight video of Microsoft's E3 2018 conference on our channel, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for all of your E3 news, updates, highlights, and more. Thanks for watching everybody.